Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Planning Board meeting of April 16, 2019. Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, looks like we have a quorum this evening. We have 4 members. I don't think we need to appoint alternates. I think all of you are full-time, so we'll go to roll call of members present. Michael Croto, Chair.
Kimberly Queen and Vice Chair.
Kay Stevens, member.
Tony Chirecki, I actually am still an alternate. I never got sworn in.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, could you vote for us this evening?
Could.
All right, we'll have you vote as an alternate. First order of business this evening is public input on non-agenda items not on the agenda this evening. Are there any members of the public who wish to come forward on any non-agenda items? Hearing none, I will close public input on non-agenda items and go to the business at hand. The first thing I have on the agenda this evening is an interview for Joshua Smith, Planning Board applicant. Is the applicant present this evening? Okay, why don't you come forward and introduce yourself.
Have a seat.
And you can have a seat.
All right.
Oh, welcome.
Excuse the attire. I just came back from coaching baseball, so.
That's all right. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Josh Smith. I've been in town for about 6 years now. I'm really here because recently I've had kind of a passion to try to really impact the success of Litchfield. People have told me that this is a great place to start. And I'm an engineer by trade, so it seems like the planning board would be something I could really jump onto. I'm excited about it.
Okay, very good. Well, we're glad that you certainly have an interest. We are looking for members. Just basic, we meet on the first and third Tuesday of the month,
Okay.
7 p.m. here in Town Hall. We basically do site plan review, subdivision control, and we have a couple. Sometimes we get home occupations. We do the master plan for the town. So we do a bunch of different things, and we all are from different backgrounds. So,
Okay.
Having a mixture is always good. Does anybody have any questions for the applicant?
Can you read my handwriting? Sorry.
Yes,
You got it.
yes, we can.
Well, it's a 3-year commitment.
Okay.
If you sign up.
Yep.
And the process is usually what happens is you would come before us this evening, and we would recommend you to go before the Board of Selectmen, and the Board of Selectmen would vote to appoint you if you were interested in becoming a member. And then you would have to get sworn in by the town clerk.
Okay.
And so those are the procedures. You don't have to come to every single meeting, but it's always good to make sure that you come to most of them. Usually we need a quorum, especially if we have projects that are going on in site plan reviews and subdivision reviews. So those things, they require, procedurally, they require a quorum. So we need people here to vote.
So if there's no quorum,
If there's no quorum, then we can't really go forward with anything. So, but that's really procedure-wise. But as I said, it's I think it's a good group. I think we do a pretty good job, and we'd love to have you aboard if you're interested in coming aboard.
yeah, definitely.
Welcome.
All right.
So
Go get sworn in.
there you go.
So how does that, just a few questions so
Go
I'm
ahead.
clear. An alternate, if I come here and someone's not here, I kind of just fill in, or am I told ahead of time, or how does that?
Sure. Alternates, we basically have alternates on the board in case if a regular member is absent, then that alternate can be asked to vote. For example, tonight I asked Tony to vote because
Okay.
he isn't still an alternate. He's going to be a full-time member, but he's still an alternate right now. So we needed 4 members, so he was able to vote. So he can vote for tonight. Being an alternate doesn't mean that you don't participate at all. And it just means that if we need someone to vote, we have someone here to do that in case we don't have a regular member. But you are able to get involved in the discussion. You can ask questions. You can do all the same things as the regular board members would do, and you're still a member of the planning board essentially.
Okay.
Just
Did you mention you asked to go to the selectmen's meeting for an interview?
yeah, I said
Yep.
we would recommend him to the board of selectmen, and then he would have to go before them. So, and I think Troy Brown he's the town administrator. He would schedule you for your meeting with the board.
Okay.
And usually what I do is I send an email to him basically saying, we voted last night to recommend Joshua Smith to the planning board, to the board of selectmen. The next meetings, please schedule him.
Okay.
So you'll probably hear from him.
So as the more alternates, the less chance that I'm assuming these fine gentlemen here are trying to get something through.
Right.
If
Well,
there's not a quorum, they're on
yes.
hold till next 2
It's-
weeks.
Yes, and we actually had that situation a couple of weeks ago where we
Okay.
actually didn't have a quorum and we couldn't go forward on a site plan review. So it is important that people, are going to do this. It's a commitment, as I said. It's a volunteer, I understand, but it is a commitment.
Right.
So we make people aware of that, so
Right.
it's important. But like I said, we would love to have you aboard. And if you're really interested in it, that's great.
Yeah.
The more the merrier. So does anybody have anything that they would like to ask? Or if not, I would entertain a motion, that we recommend Joshua Smith, 29 Circle Drive, Litchfield, New Hampshire, to be recommended to the Board of Selectmen for appointment to the planning board.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Second?
And I have a second. Do I have discussion? All right. All those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Abstained?
I have to.
Okay.
I have to vote one way or the other next week.
All right. So
Remember
1,
that.
2, 3, 4, 5.
I got no choice.
So motion passes 4-0-1. So
That made my job
good luck. And I'm sure that, it's pretty much like this tonight when you go for the Board of Selectmen. They'll try not to beat you up, I guess. I don't know.
We thank you for coming aboard, period.
So,
Right.
But thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right.
And you're welcome to stay.
I think I will stay.
Want to watch
Bring
what
the
happens.
kids in too if you want.
Yeah, those are my kids.
Oh,
working.
okay.
I'll,
All right. Hello.
Go ahead. You're in trouble. Go right ahead.
Very good.
I might have to step out if I'm coughing here.
All right.
I think it's the air. Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
Okay, this is what you said.
So are you staying or are you going over there?
I gotta go. to the
Okay,
other
you
side
gotta
of
go
the
over
fence.
there. All right. Well,
I go from one side to the other.
I'll wait you go over there and then I'll.
I'm done.
All right. All right.
If I stand over there, I'll just be coughing over there.
The next item on the agenda, the only item really on the agenda this evening is the pre-application design review for VAB Properties LLC at map 1 lot 1855 Charles Bancroft Highway. The purpose of the plan is to show a conceptual plan for a proposed self-storage facility located in the Southern Commercial Industrial Service District. Is the applicant present this evening? Okay, I'll have you and you folks can actually come and to the table, sit down, identify yourselves to the board, and let's see here.
All set?
How's that?
All right.
You want this plan?
Okay, sure. Go bigger.
Thank you.
All right, we'll get started. Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. My name is Tucker McCarthy. I'm an engineer with Keach Nordstrom Associates. With me this evening is Dana Boucher. He is the owner and applicant of the property, which is VAB Properties. So we are in front of you this evening for a pre-application design review. This property is located at 55 Charles Bancroft Highway. It is formerly known as Rodonis Farm. It is a 26.38 acre parcel, and it is located in the Southern Commercial Industrial Zone. And actually, we are surrounded on all sides of this side of Charles Bancroft by the Southern Commercial Industrial Zone, and then across Charles Bancroft is commercially zoned. So we are proposing a self-storage facility on the back portion of this lot. It'll be approximately, or sorry, not approximately, but it will be 13 at-grade self-storage buildings. So they are drive-up only. There's no second levels proposed for any of these. The site will be accessed through an existing driveway. The existing greenhouses that are on the back portion of this lot will be removed to make room for these self-storage facilities. The storage facilities themselves will be fully fenced in, and we'll have a gate at the driveway entrance. Some of the things that we have done is based on previous experience with these self-storage facilities. We have provided more than required spacing between the buildings themselves. We've just found through talking with other users that this is something that is good to have with people navigating moving vans and trucks through these and not banging into the units. So we've tried to keep enough space in between them to provide a little bit of a buffer. We likely will have an office located at the existing building at the proposed driveway entrance for people that need to do leasing, forget their key card, anything along those lines. And also all the building setbacks are being met for this lot for what we are proposing. So self-storage is typically known as a low burden use. They produce low traffic volumes and they don't require any utilities other than electrical. So some of the one of the items that we likely will be requesting a waiver from is the parking requirement. Because these are at-grade self-storage units, parking isn't really necessary because people just drive right up to their unit and park there, unload, load their stuff, and drive off. So I know that for mini warehouse, there is a requirement of one space for 5 units, and we'll likely be requesting a waiver from that. And then the other item is we likely will be going in front of the Conservation Commission for relief to allow for stormwater treatment within the 50-foot no disturb on the back of the site. It is a tough site. This is old farmland. There's high water table, and we're pretty constrained on space. And that wetland in the back of the site that we show is actually, we think, is a man-made ditch. There are some culverts that cross old farm roads that go to the back, and so we believe that it was part of farm irrigation in the past. So that's pretty much it from us. Happy to answer any questions from the board, any input you guys may have.
Does anybody have any questions for the applicant?
Which building would be the one where they would pull up to if they forgot the key? There's a few here.
I'd have to confirm this with Dana, but what we had thought was that there's an existing building here. Is that what you were thinking, Dana?
The front building,
The front building, okay.
right here. There's side parking on the building right there,
Right here.
right here.
Yep.
Yeah, right
So
there.
office
It says greenhouse?
space in here.
Yeah, it's an old greenhouse that's
Okay.
on the end.
Is there going to be access for emergency vehicles, or how is that going to work? I know you said that you use a key card to get in. Is it a gated thing, or how does that?
Yeah. So there is there will be a security gate here. So all of these, there'll be access to the units here. And other than that, it's fully going to be fenced in and closed. So typically we would provide, whenever the fire department wanted a Knox box or something to allow them access, or they would have their own key card for emergency access to be able to get in. These type of buildings typically don't require fire suppression within them. So.
I see. Okay. So maybe over here, not like trees.
And I didn't mean to be rude. Cassie Mullen is our filling in for Jay tonight. Welcome. I know Jay had a few comments. I don't know if you want to bring them up at this
Sure.
time.
Jay was concerned about buffering from Route 3A for the buildings visible. And he would like to see some design drawings if possible, to see if, you guys were going to try and conform at all with the rural character of the area, because Route 3A is kind of their, it's a very historical agricultural site that they would like to see preserved moving forward.
Sure. So I'm just trying to respond to those as best I can. I think I might have missed the first question there, but let me know if I did. So the first question was, yes, we absolutely will provide full design drawings for this.
Okay, perfect.
We're working on them now, but we felt that it was, we didn't want to get too far before we got a chance to get some input from the board. And in terms of, matching the character, they actually haven't chosen a color for these yet, but we will present that. There are actually quite a number of different colors available for these type of buildings. These also aren't, they're not very tall buildings. So I think that the first question was buffering.
Yeah.
And we certainly will provide landscaping along the front of these to shield from the road itself. And they aren't very tall buildings. So likely any building that you may see will probably just be that kind of horseshoe shaped one. And I don't think you'll really be able to see most of them other than that first one from the road.
Great. Those were Jay's main concerns.
Just so you know, we did do a community design chapter for our master plan. Maybe, if you would like to take a look at it, I believe it's on our site for the town of Litchfield. That was just completed. Really looking at the sort of the aesthetic nature of what things should look like in town. Might give you an idea of what, if you're looking for color or you're looking for something that's, aesthetically pleasing, just to give you an idea of what it is that we're trying to focus on. And it is, we do want to try and keep that rural character if we can. And that's important. I think that's what we tried to look at last time.
Okay, no, I appreciate that. I definitely will.
Yeah,
take a look
I mean,
at
that's
that.
something
very
as
helpful.
a reference, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Site yet, but we can send a link.
Okay, that's
We
fine.
have a
I thought it
PDF.
was.
I think
but
it is
if
on
you're
the
just-
site.
Finally, okay, sorry.
I'll
I knew it was
I'll
there.
check.
Okay.
So these units, they're kind of like the preformed, like metal module, like the, yeah. I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
they're
Okay.
typical. Just they're on a concrete slab. The way that we're working with the grading right now is that they won't be. It's tough sometimes to work with these long buildings, but we've made a way so that they're not going to be stepped buildings. They'll just have a high point in the middle, slope down. They'll each be, just on a poured concrete slab, metal fabricated buildings. I don't know.
Is this, this facility, what are the hours of operation? I'm just kind of curious, do you know yet? Or is it going to be like a 9 to 5? Is it going to be, someone can go there anytime? What's the,
That's a good
It's
question.
not gonna be an all night.
it's not
I'm
going to be.
not sure yet, but it's definitely,
The reason I asked is in terms of lighting and things of that nature, I didn't know what, what was being proposed for that. So,
Yeah, I think that likely we'll try to, obviously we'll try to minimize and have no spillage over any property lines. I think likely they'll just be mostly building mounted lights. I don't know if it's possible to have those motion censored or not.
Yeah, they are going to be motion. Yeah.
Are there certain times of operation that?
no,
okay.
but sometimes, it depends what kind of business it is. For example, some people, may have businesses that go into the night. Maybe they require lighting or some sort. I just was curious. I didn't know. But sometimes, and people usually put that information on the plan. So that goes on the plan.
Yeah, we can certainly, when we come back for the official review, we'll definitely have
Something to think about.
Yeah.
And we like to see, like, if they're going to be on all night, at least have them dimmable, like you said, motion sensor so that it would dim or something, or just completely turn off.
The latest it's going to be open is 9 p.m.
Okay.
If it's most likely 8 to 8, I think.
Okay.
I'm going to run for hours. So
Okay.
And
we'll definitely have motion on the lights.
and we'll,
Great.
in our site plan package, we'll provide a photometric lighting plan. And included on that will be, we use LED downcast lighting. They'll be building mounted. It'll show the, how the lighting at all locations with the luminaires and everything like that. So
Okay.
we'll definitely have that for you with the full site plan application.
And speaking of the buffering along, not just along Charles Bancroft, but you're going to be able to see all these buildings as you're driving north, from Hudson. So you might want to look into planning something out along that. I guess that would be your
Southern corner.
east edge, to block that also.
Okay.
So that as you're driving up, it's not, because you got all the fields right in front of it and just a row of buildings.
Well, we can,
Something to consider.
we'll certainly talk about that and consider it. And I appreciate that. I think, buffering between commercial zones isn't required, but I think it's certainly, if that was important to the board, it would be something that we would consider presenting.
Okay. I think that would help keep it within the aesthetic of the town.
Sure.
Fire trucks, can they make a turn once they go down the main entranceway and they have to take a right? Is it wide enough to do that, to get them in there?
I can, we can take a closer look at it. I believe so. Yes. We have a truck turning template that we can run. And if you'd like, we can provide some of that to you.
Is this going to be fenced in? I'm just curious. Or are you looking to fence it, or how is that?
Yeah, sure. If you look at, so as you come up here, well, there should be a fence shown here. There isn't, but it'll be fenced in here, and then the building will enclose it, and then there's a fence shown all the way here, enclosed by the building, and then there's a fence that comes around here, and then it'll be enclosed by the building, and then there's a piece of fencing here. So it would be fully enclosed facility.
And what kind of fence is it going to be? I mean, what are you looking at in terms of a fence? I guess is my question.
We were looking for input from you.
Okay. Well, I mean, certainly, I would have to be something that would,
Are you going for security for yourself to keep people out?
I was
as well?
thinking the wire fence with the green slats or something like that.
That's what came to mind.
Or black,
Yeah.
yeah.
hmm
It's a little bit, that could help with, blocking the buildings, obviously.
Yeah,
and then-
that's what I had
Just
thought.
again,
Right,
I think
chain link fence.
with the aesthetic, and I think, obviously, if you can try and make it with the rural character in mind, I think that's,
Okay. So we're thinking 6 foot, chain link with some type of vinyl slats within it. Okay.
there's no, I mean, obviously, there's not going to be any, like septic systems or anything. I mean, this is a storage facility, so I assume.
Yeah, no, so the existing buildings have a septic. The house that is actually out front of this facility, Dana also owns that, and it has its own septic on their site. But no, there's no that his office, the greenhouse, there'll be a bathroom available there, but it's existing now, so there's no proposed septic or.
Is this going to be paved in here? I'm just curious. And what are you using for the paving? I guess.
Yeah, just be typical asphalt paving. Yeah.
And what about, are you gonna have like a sign or something out front, or are you already gonna?
I think that we had conceptually discussed, and we had actually, one of the other things we had looked at was turning this building around, but we'll make sure that that's obviously
Well,
completed.
just bear in mind that we do have a sign ordinance in town. so
Sure,
it
no,
has to
absolutely.
comply.
I think that we had talked about some type of a sign on this building here. Dana does have a sign here. He owns DLB Paving, and they have a sign on there. So we'll have to look at what's allowed and if something can be added on there, and or if that sign can be reworked or something like that. So we'll certainly look at that. And a lot of times what ends up happening is once the project is approved, we come back with a sign package and we come back in front of the planning board to present that. So we'll see. It's kind of tough to get that stuff going as we're going through the design phase, but we'll see what we can do to get that to you guys as soon as possible.
Do you have like a landscaping plan or anything yet, or is that too early in the stages?
We haven't completed it yet, but we certainly will
Might
have
be
a
something to
license.
think about, especially if you're going to be making a plan before the board.
Yep.
At least have something.
Oh, no, we always include a landscaping plan. So we 100% will have a landscaping plan as a freestanding plan as part of our site plan package. We always have a lighting and a landscape plan.
Does anybody have anything else that they would like to ask? Cassie, do you have anything that you would like to add?
Sounds good.
It might be on here and I'm just missing it. Was there something about drainage with all that, if all that's going to be paved now, how that would be?
Yeah, so it's not shown on this plan. And one of the things I did want to mention is that we will be going to the state for an alteration of terrain permit. So the drainage will all be designed to state DES standards. It's not shown in this plan. It's being worked right now. We're in the process of doing test bits and getting soils information. So that'll certainly all be completely spelled out in our full application. What we're looking at right now is doing, like I mentioned, some type of treatment system out back here. And that's why we would need to go to the Conservation Commission to allow that work within the 50-foot non-disturbed buffer. And then potentially something out front here is what we're looking at now. But we have to work through that. This is, like I said, is a difficult site. We may end up having to incorporate some type of under pavement system to supplement. But obviously the cheapest, most practical option is to keep it above ground. Sometimes that's just not possible, but that's what we're looking to achieve.
Okay. That's all I had.
Kim, you good?
Yep.
Tony?
Yeah, I was going to say, you might just, Kim kind of touched on it earlier. It looks like you certainly get lots of space in between the buildings, but you might want to just reach out to the chief just to get his input before you go too crazy with the design, just to
Sure, absolutely.
just to prevent headaches later,
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
It looks like, 20 feet, 30 feet, that's plenty of space for a
Okay.
truck, I would say.
Yeah, we'll reach out to the fire department, and if they want to sit down and take a look at it, we can definitely do that.
Actually, how does that work with the emergency vehicles if the gate's locked?
So they
How does-
usually, on other sites, what they'll have is I'm saying a certain brand, I think, but it's called a Knox box, and it's specific for fires and first responders, and they'll actually have their own key to be able to open themselves. And I'm not sure with these facilities if they can be given a key card, an access card, so that they would be able to get right in. So
Okay.
and they would certainly require that if it's
Right.
fenced in, they would have to have a way that they could get in without having to contact somebody to get in there. So
Right. Okay.
they have the key.
Exactly.
Most cases they use
Flyers.
box like this.
And I don't think that these self-storage facilities are high fire danger because you're not allowed to store combustible items or that type of thing. I mean, obviously people might try to sneak that in, but I'm sure Dana's going to have that written in his lease. So I don't think that these are, and they're just a metal shell. So
You have to think about emergency, people that are in there that were having an emergency.
sure, absolutely. Yep.
We did notify abutters.
Yes, we did.
I'm looking at the site plan, or the preliminary conceptual design. It says that, it's not necessary for formal public hearing or notice, but design review is, and
Well, if you're gonna unroll a plan that has that much
It-
detail.
okay, all right. So what I'm gonna do at this time, is there any members of the public here tonight who would like to come forward, has any questions for the applicant, as to this plan? Would welcome you to come forward. Hello, why don't you come forward, introduce yourself to the board, and either one. You could certainly, if you want to have a seat, have a seat.
Hi, Janine Lepore, 17 Greenwich Road. And I did have a few questions with regard to this plan. One of my concerns, and several people actually had raised some questions about this, was the rural character of Litchfield. I know is valued by people who live here. There's, I think, a lot of pride that people have in this farm community ambience that we have. And my concern is, that we're kind of going from farm to storage. We're starting to lose farm business. And I think there are other storage facilities in Litchfield. There's, I
No.
believe, isn't there one in the north end of Litchfield?
Not yet.
Not yet, but will there be?
It might be.
Okay, so there's a potential of one in the northern end, and then there's a potential for one in the southern end of Litchfield. So we would have, then on our main road, we would have coming and going in each direction. One of the first things that you'd see would be a storage facility if these plans for North and South Litchfield go in. My concern is, that there's a potential drop in property values. If we start putting in, metal storage buildings, especially if they can be seen from the main road. I would imagine people who own homes in that around the surrounding area might be concerned about it as well. But is that actually going to reduce property values? Has anybody looked into any impact that that storage facility businesses can have on property values?
No, but certainly something that, that can be considered at the time of review of site plan. Technically, because this is public comment, usually, it's really an opportunity for the public to state their issues, and it's really not a thing for response from the board or to,
Okay.
Really, it's not really a question answer so much as it is giving your comments.
All right,
Just so you know.
Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm
That's
sorry.
all right.
So I'll continue down then with my comments. Another concern that I have is whether or not these businesses are being given a tax break, and if so, that also goes to my issue about property values. People's homes are probably their biggest investment, and if property values were to go down, that would certainly obviously hurt the investments that people have made in their property, and perhaps that's that may be one of the biggest things in their retirement plans. My concern is also, if there is an incentive for businesses to come in, then we're not really recouping any tax benefit necessarily if the businesses have a lower lower taxes to attract them into Litchfield. I'm thinking that there may be more benefit to building larger homes on larger parcels of property, would also help to bolster taxes that are coming in. My other concern is if these businesses aren't successful, if we have more than one storage facility and they're not really going to be that far away from each other, are they going to be competing? And what happens if one of these businesses fails? And then we have a series of metal buildings that really don't have another practical use for them. That would be taking up this section of property. It's not like even an office building where you could change the uses around for all kinds of different things. This would be a storage facility, whether it's vacant or whether it is currently in business. Let's see. I think those were my major concerns. The visibility from the road was one of my big concerns, and that it would have the character, a rural character to it. I'm not sure how successful that can be, with this kind of a business. I know driving my kids back and forth, to college at UNH. I know you go by. There's a few towns that have storage facilities, and it's not the most attractive view from a main road. So those are my concerns, and I greatly appreciate your time and listening to me. And thank you for explaining. Is it possible for me to just get a little closer to the map so I can see it? Thank you.
Yep. And we thank you for your input.
Thank you.
You can, you can, or you don't have to. If you want to respond to the comments, you can. If you don't want to respond to them, you don't have to respond to them. But that's up to you guys. But if you have anything to say,
I've never heard of any devaluation in property value. And my son owns probably 5 storage facilities. He's never had an issue with that, and there's definitely no tax incentive. No one's providing any tax incentive. That's nothing to do with it. So I don't know.
okay. Is there any other members of the public who wish to speak this evening? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to close public input on this, and I'm going to bring it back to the board. Folks have anything else that you'd like to add, or any other anything else?
I guess just real quick, I'd like to thank the board for their input, and we'll certainly have taken notes, and we'll certainly incorporate as much of this as we can. And
Okay.
we are planning to have a full site plan package in front of you as soon as possible.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
we look forward to further discussion.
And if you could too, our circuit riders do a lot of the work, and they do very good work. Just make sure that if you're getting a plan, make sure to have it at least, I would say a week in advance to get it to either Jay or Cassie.
21 days on the application.
Well, it's 20, right. But as long as if they can get it in the sooner than later. So that's what I'm saying.
And probably a plan should go to Lou Karen as well.
Yes, and I think that would be a very good idea. He's the town engineer. I think that we would definitely want that. So
Is that a private firm?
they are a consultant,
Karen Engineering.
Karen, okay.
but they are the
Get
town's
your dad.
engineer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'd be happy to submit a copy of everything to him.
Great.
Sure, we can do that. I believe we've done that in the past in
Yeah.
town, so.
And also, I think it's a good idea. I think Tony mentioned talking to the fire chief, seeing about that.
Yep.
Maybe having a preliminary discussion might be helpful.
Sure.
I just had a quick thought. You could see I think the public's one of the biggest concerns would be the town, keeping the town character. Maybe just that one side of the fence is like one type if you want, to save some money on some areas, but try to keep the town character. Maybe just that one side is a nicer fence, or personally, I think the green blends a little better, but some people like the farm, right? The farm character. So just like something to keep in mind as you're looking at different fence types, if you wanted to.
Sure.
Or bushes, whatever. hide
I
it,
think that would be most ideal, right? But
or both, for their safety as well.
I think that that's going to be the town's main concern with the storage facility is keeping that aesthetic.
Sure. I appreciate that.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
And thank you for presenting to this evening. And,
We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Decide on the May meeting also. Problem with May.
Yeah, I wanted that information to be double checked, which I just emailed to get some proof on that number, that date.
The 21st.
Yeah.
Yeah, May 21st.
oh, that's right. You're not going to be here either, right?
Well, it's the same day. She's double checking on the date.
Oh, okay.
So both for the same reason.
Plan ahead, spring art concert, grade 3 at 7, grade 1 at 5:30. You know, we're just getting, it just was the time of it. See right there.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that is the date then, the 27th,
so right here.
Tuesday, May 21st.
21st.
Oh, the 23rd is second, grade 2. So grade 1 and 2, grade 1 and 3 is May 21st, and May 23rd is grade 2.
We should have alternates by then. The gentleman from last meeting and then.
Selectmen are meeting. When are the selectmen meeting again? Okay, they are the 22nd? Okay, because he's supposed to come on the 22nd.
You can get that on the agenda.
Well, the other person was supposed to be the 22nd as well.
I even called in from my Disney vacation for a meeting one time. I did.
Okay, well, certainly, I mean, if it becomes an issue, we can certainly.
Unless they wait till 8:30 or 8.
No, 6 o'clock was like.
Unless we go earlier. I don't know. I just don't know about public notices. You know, how you have to give them so much time.
Yeah, that was good to bring that up early.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, just so that we know.
I'm not saying it's a showstopper, but if we could, you know.
Well, if we don't have a quorum, it's just.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, why don't we do this at the next meeting?
Yeah.
We'll make a determination whether we're going to move it or do whatever. So.
Because I brought, yeah, the bylaws said you could, right here.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
We have to do that. Okay, thank you. Committee reports, do we have any committee reports this evening? Only thing I have is Conservation Commission met this beginning of this month. I went to the Lower Merrimack River meeting April 11th. And they did discuss a little bit about the CSO issue. And apparently that's still ongoing. And we did have the Conservation Commission. I did go to the cleanup on Saturday. And so we were able to clean up our 3A in front of where the town hall is, the old town hall. And that's about it from my end. Kim, do you have anything from NRPC or?
Nothing from NRPC. We haven't had our quarterly meeting yet.
Okay.
As far as the Heritage Commission, the Heritage Commission approved a draft of the bylaws. They now have to go in front of the board to forward it over to our legal department for final review. So that should be coming shortly.
Another good reading.
There you go. Okay. Anything else from anybody? Okay. Approval of the April 2nd minutes. Did anyone have an opportunity to look at the minutes for April 2nd?
I did.
And did they see anything that
I,
popped out at you?
again,
or-
my printer could be a little off. But it was the, I highlighted it for you. On the committee reports, you want the hard copy?
Sure.
It just said NRPC held their quarterly meeting, and it just says, it just kind of dropped off to Liberty. I don't know what that meant. It was a cut and paste error. I highlighted it. It's on the back page.
Okay,
See up where it says committee meeting or committee reports,
Oh,
where I
yeah,
was the
yeah.
last one. So,
yeah,
yeah, we have to fix, I just fell off. I
Yeah.
think it was a cut and paste. And then there's some stuff at the end, but that could be my printer had some. So if you just want to check those,
okay, thank you.
but it looked good.
She's the only one without a computer.
It
So
was
if
an easy one tonight.
She's a doctor.
It's right here.
Anybody
It's
has,
right here.
um,
Just
Okay.
anybody has any other issues with the minutes, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
I'll make a motion to, can I, if I'm the one amending them?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Okay, I have a motion to
Second.
approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have discussion? All those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, abstained. Motion passes 4-0-0. Okay. Good. Let's see. Any other business? Is there any other business? Yes.
I sent a email to everybody about a potential thank you for the people that did the community design master plan. I said I'd bring hard copies. It will look better with a letterhead, obviously, officially looking, and feel free to tweak it. Here, you can have that. I have the emails that we had at the bottom. You can see we do 2 cut and pastes. I just grabbed them out of Jen's old emails just to see if there's anybody else that should maybe get the thank you letter. We did have DLB paving in. There was a woman, I thought was her name Donna? Do you remember?
Ellen.
What was, who?
Ellen,
Yeah, I don't know which email was hers because there's a couple that are a little cryptic.
Okay.
But if you have that, I see DLB paving at AOL. I don't want to say that on
That's
the
hers.
TV. You can read the rest of the email address there. And then there's some other names here, like right after that one. So, but the ones that are in the middle of the page here were the ones that went through the whole, 8 or 9 months with us, kind of all the way through to the end. So you can read that. It's a small, short and sweet, but if you want to add anything to it or feel free to do that. Or you have your own format. So it's in an email too. You can cut and paste it out if you want, and however you two want to send that out.
Looks good.
I think it's nice. I could just also just type that on letterhead.
It looks, probably better. Than sending an email. But if you want to send an email, that gave you the addresses there that I could find. But again, there was a couple in there. Again, we don't have to talk about them and give you out personal email addresses, but if we can go over that later.
Mine is that first one.
Yeah, I figure you're on the, that's how we recruited Kate. She was part of that subcommittee, right? The link in the middle of the page is that community design chapter,
Okay.
the final one. I don't know if they want to see a hard copy. Can you go to litchfieldnh.gov and see if it is in the master chapters? Because
Yeah, because
last
it
time
was-
I looked, I didn't see it, but it could have been updated.
He just rebuilt the site, so it might not be in there.
Yeah. But if not, that's the cut and paste, but I don't know about security on that. It looks like it's Nashua NRPC.
Oh, yeah.
So they may not have,
Yes.
but if there's a hard copy, if they want it. But that brings up my second last point is we're finding the Heritage Commission has to get onto the website, and we'll reach out to, don't tell me. There was a gentleman that just,
John.
John Brunel.
Very-
So I'll send him an email because we have to get added to it. But I would like us maybe next meeting to look at ours and make sure we have everything. Some of the chapters might be older that are there. That's all. If we're gonna ask for his help, we may as well get both
Well,
groups.
I've been emailing back because he didn't have the
Oh, okay, good.
right zoning on, so we just got that on this week.
Okay.
The right zoning and the site plan.
Do you see it?
Took
Do you-
Tyler off.
Do you see it there on our?
I don't know if the community design is there, but the chapters of the,
Yeah, we had our master chapters there. Oh, okay, so I
Regulations are,
see,
He
yeah.
hasn't fixed it yet.
Yep.
Still looking.
But that engineer is gonna need the same chapter, right?
Well,
Yeah.
the reference, okay.
If he wants to look at the fencing and the lighting and all that.
Cassie, do you have anything from RPC?
We've officially moved into our new office, 30 Temple Street. We have a new phone number also, 603-417, I don't even, 6570, that's what it is. But yeah, so there's a new phone number. We're gonna be getting, yeah, right. Well, it's all updated. It's all updated on the website. We're gonna be getting new business cards and new everything. All of our email addresses are still the same though. So
Did you move from your spacious location to Temple Street?
we did.
How's the parking?
It's not as good, but we do have parking and there is plenty of spaces available for visitors too. So,
I just know the area. It's tight.
yeah. But yeah, so we're officially in Temple Street now for any mailings or anything like that, but it's all updated on the website. So,
And Cassie was at the Lower Merrimack meeting the other night with Mason Twombly to talk about the grant that they're doing for water quality, and it was a good presentation. So thank you for your help with that. Okay, Joan, do you have anything else?
No, I do not.
Okay. If nobody else has anything else, I would probably entertain a motion to adjourn. I don't see anything else on the agenda this evening, so.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Okay, make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have discussion? All those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, abstained, motion passes 4-0-0. Thank you for joining us this evening. Happy Easter, and we'll see you in May. Good night.